The most beloved hockey team in the universe. We've got a guest now, Professor of Finance, who reckons that there may be a correlation between the Stanley Cup and the stock market. I think this is partly tongue-in-cheek, but let's get over to him. He's Ernest Biktimirov, and he's a professor at Brock University in St. Catharines. It's great to have you here, Professor.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Just to summarize your theory, you reckon that when a team from the Western Conference of the NHL wins the Stanley Cup, it's likely that the stock market will go down that year.
Exactly, yes. And if the team from the Eastern Conference wins the Stanley Cup, it's likely that market will go up that particular year. And this Stanley Cup stock market predictor, as we can call it, has been correct since 2000 Stanley Cup 6 out of 7 times.
If we look at the record, it has worked out this year, obviously, because a Western team won it. The Tampa, okay, so yeah, let's look. The 2008's down the bottom. Detroit Red Wings are in the Western Conference. It's not always, it doesn't always go by geography. It didn't work last year. The Anaheim Ducks won, and the market went up.
Yes, exactly. It was the only time when this predictor made a wrong prediction, starting from 2000. But as we look right now, again, it's going to redeem itself quite nicely.
The Carolina Hurricanes won, and 2006 was pretty good. 2005 was the lockout.
Yes.
And then, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning, another Eastern Conference team.
Yes, exactly.
And the stock market went up.
Yes.
Pretty interesting. We've all heard of the Super Bowl predictor. Can you remind us how that one works?
Yes, Super Bowl predictor has been quite popular in the United States for decades right now. According to this predictor, if the team that wins the Super Bowl is from the original National Football League, the market is going to go up for that year. And if the team that wins the Super Bowl is from the original AFL, so the market is going to go down. And this predictor has been quite impressive in the last century, but it has been quite shaky in this millennium. While in contrast, starting from 2000, for some reason, the Stanley Cup predictor started to work quite nicely.
Now, you're an avid Maple Leafs fan.
Yes.
If we could just look at, I think we can look at the odds. We went to vegasonline.com, and the poor old Maple Leafs right now are 40-1.
Yes.
But the favorite, look at that, the two favorites according to Vegas Online are Western Conference teams. That's pretty bad for the stock market.
Yes, it doesn't look good. Yeah, it doesn't look for the stock market. But look at the Montreal Canadiens. They're not so far behind, only 6-1.
And the New York Rangers.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
What about the Maple Leafs? What attracted you're originally from Russia.
Yes.
You've been in Canada for 9 years.
Yes.
What attracted you to the Maple Leafs as a team to support?
Because I still consider it as like my hometown team. I am from St. Catharines, and I root for all Toronto teams, like Toronto Raptors, Toronto Maple Leafs, and I enjoy watching the game.
From an academic point of view, as a professor, what do you think of the current times we're in? Are we in a major crisis, or will we muddle through financially one way or another?
I think eventually we will be able to get out, but this crisis is quite different from the crisis that we had before, because the whole economy became much more globalized. Like in the past, investors could move the money from one market to another, they could hide. But now, or for example, if there is a bad news in one market, it would take some time before it actually will spread to other markets. But now we live in global economy. As soon as there is a bad news in one market, it immediately spreads through all the markets. So basically, there is no place to hide as long as you simply just go to the bonds. But if you again, I wrote about this predictor in my textbook, and this textbook was published this year.
Essentials of Corporate Finance.
Yeah, and I suspect that maybe some people already bought this textbook at the beginning of the year, and if they read about this Stanley Cup predictor, what they did in June, they knew already that market is going to go down, so they simply could sell all their stocks, even maybe to establish short positions, and they would make a lot of money this year.
But I mean, how could there be a correlation between hockey teams and the market?
Yeah, I mean, there is a correlation. We don't know about causation. Yeah, maybe there is a causality. And I cannot say anything about any causation, about causality, but correlation is pretty clear and very strong. And right now, I cannot think about any other predictor available in the market that can boost such high predictive power, like 85.7%.
Professor, thank you very much. I'm not a big hockey fan, but I would love to see the Maple Leafs win just for the historic release of emotion that would happen in Toronto if it did happen. Thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much.
That's Professor Biktimirov. He's a professor at Brock University. Over to you, Ken.
All right, stay with us. When we come back on The Close, we'll have